You have been infected with a localized virus concerning the nature of time. The system has convinced you that time is a straight line, an arrow pointing in one direction. It told you that the past is a physical monument carved in stone, completely untouchable. It told you that your current suffering, your anxiety, and your limitations are the direct, unavoidable result of what happened to you 5, 10, or 20 years ago. You believe you are the product of your history. You are incorrect. In the architecture of quantum mechanics, the past does not create the present. The present creates the past. The 3D interface you are interacting with right now is a highly sophisticated simulation, and the timeline is not a rigid structure. It is a malleable digital file. You are carrying dead weight. You are dragging the corrupted code of your history into every new coordinate you try to reach. This is why your manifestation stalls. This is why you feel trapped in a loop. You are trying to build a new empire on a hard drive that is still infected with outdated malware. For the chosen one, a true spiritual awakening is not just about changing the future, it is about hacking the past. Today, we are going to break the arrow of time. We are going to decode the terrifying physics of retro-causality. We will examine the quantum eraser experiment to prove that your current observation can literally reach back and alter a historical event. And you will learn how to rewrite the meaning, the energy, and the momentum of your deepest trauma. You are not a victim of your timeline. You are the administrator, and you have the rights to hit edit. But before we initiate this temporal override, you must calibrate your coordinates. I need a diagnostic ping from your system. Go to the data log in the comments right now. Do not name your trauma. Do not feed the ghost by typing out the story of your pain. State only the exact high-frequency upgrade you have extracted from your past. Tell the server what weapon you have forged from the fire. Then authorize the algorithm to unlock the timeline. Write, I rewrite the past. To execute this phase of your spiritual awakening, we must permanently delete the Newtonian model of physics from your brain. Classical physics tells you that cause always precedes effect. You drop a glass, it shatters. The past creates the future. But when we look at the foundational code of the universe at the quantum level, this linear logic completely collapses. Enter the physicist John Archibald Wheeler and the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. This is not philosophy. This is hard, measurable data. In a standard double-slit experiment, if you fire a photon of light at a barrier with 2 slits and you do not observe it, it acts as a wave. It goes through both slits simultaneously and creates an interference pattern. But the moment you place a detector to measure which slit it goes through, the wave function collapses. The photon acts as a solid particle and goes through only one slit. Observation creates reality. Wheeler proposed a terrifying variation. What if we delay the choice to observe the photon until after it has already passed through the slits, but before it hits the final screen? Imagine a photon traveling from a distant quasar, billions of light years away. As it travels toward Earth, it encounters a massive galaxy that acts as a gravitational lens, splitting the light's path into 2 possible routes, Route A and Route B. The photon has been traveling for billions of years in a state of superposition, taking both routes simultaneously. It finally reaches Earth today. We, the observers, decide right now whether to place a detector to measure its exact path or to leave it unobserved. The mathematics and the physical experiments prove an impossible truth.
If we choose to measure the photon today, it hits the screen as a solid particle, meaning it must have taken only one specific route billions of years ago. If we choose not to measure it today, it hits the screen as a wave, meaning it must have taken both routes billions of years ago. Do you understand the magnitude of this code? The choice we make today retroactively determines the path the photon took billions of years in the past. The past is not rendered until it is observed in the present. The past does not sit behind you in a fixed state. It exists in a cloud of probabilities, a wave function of potential meanings and energetic states, waiting for you to look at it. And how you choose to look at it right now determines what it becomes. The Matrix has hidden this physics from you. It wants you to believe you are bound by linear time, because a being trapped in linear time is a powerless being. But the chosen one operates outside the boundaries of the clock.
Now we must translate this quantum physics directly into your biology and your psychological framework. Where does your past actually exist? If you try to point to the year 2010, where do you point? You cannot find it in the physical space of the 3D interface. The past does not exist anywhere in the physical universe except as a neurological file stored in the random access memory of your brain. Your past is literally a digital reconstruction rendered by your neurons in the present moment. Every time you remember a traumatic event, a failure, or a betrayal, you are not pulling up a perfectly preserved video recording. Neuroscience proves that memory is reconstructive. Every time you access a memory, your brain rewrites it. It updates the file based on your current emotional state, your current beliefs, and your current frequency. When you sit in your room and obsess over a painful memory, you are acting as the detector in the quantum eraser experiment. You are observing the historical event through the lens of a victim. You are observing it with fear, anger, and a sense of powerlessness. By doing so, you are actively collapsing the wave function of that historical event into a dense, toxic particle. You are choosing to render it as a permanent wound. And because the brain does not know the difference between a real physical event and a vividly imagined one, your amygdala floods your body with cortisol, your heart rate spikes, your nervous system goes into fight or flight. You are physically experiencing the trauma all over again. You are taking the excess potential from a dead timeline and importing it directly into your current reality. This is how the past destroys the future, not because the past is powerful, but because your present observation of it is continuously feeding it thermodynamic energy. You are the one keeping the ghost alive. The unawakened masses are completely enslaved by this mechanism. They allow their corrupted files to run constantly in the background, draining their bandwidth, making them sick, and ensuring that their tomorrow looks exactly like their yesterday. A spiritual awakening demands that you stop acting as a passive victim of your own hard drive. You must realize that the event itself is just raw data. It is neutral code. The suffering is not in the data. The suffering is the meaning you have assigned to the data. And because memory is reconstructive, and because quantum physics allows the present to dictate the past, you have the absolute authority to reassign that meaning right now.
At this exact coordinate, we must address a massive system error.
a virus propagated by the modern therapy culture and the Matrix itself. The Matrix wants you to worship your wounds. It has created an entire pendulum theater around victimhood. Society rewards you for identifying with your trauma. It gives you validation, sympathy, and a convenient excuse for why you cannot achieve greatness. You are taught to introduce yourself by your scars. I am broken because of my childhood. I am poor because the system failed me. I cannot trust anyone because I was betrayed 5 years ago. When you adopt this identity, you hand your sovereignty over to a ghost. You lock the quantum timeline into a state of permanent damage. The chosen one refuses to participate in the victim protocol. But here is where we must install a critical safety valve. When we talk about rewriting the past and utilizing retro-causality, we are not talking about delusion. We are not telling you to pretend that a physical violation did not occur. If you were abused, if you were bankrupted, if you were betrayed, the physical collision of atoms happened in the 3D interface. True cyber stoicism is not toxic positivity. It is not denying the data. Rewriting the past means extracting the neurotoxins from the data. Imagine a highly dangerous venomous snake. The physical snake exists, but a master alchemist knows how to extract the venom from the fangs and use it to synthesize a life-saving antivenom. The snake is no longer a threat. It has been weaponized for your benefit. When you edit your history, you do not erase the facts. You erase the emotional electricity that powers the memory. You pull the plug on the trauma. You look at the darkest, most painful moment of your life, and instead of observing it as the moment you were destroyed, you consciously choose to observe it as the exact moment your God code was activated. You reframe the betrayal not as an attack, but as the universe violently severing your connection to a low-frequency timeline that would have killed your potential. You reframe the bankruptcy not as a failure, but as a mandatory system wipe required to clear the space for a multi-million-dollar empire. When you change the meaning in the present, you literally change the energetic reality of the past. The wave function collapses into a new configuration. The historical event goes from being a heavy anchor dragging you down to high-octane fuel propelling you forward. You extract the wisdom, the resilience, and the cold, hard data, and you discard the suffering. This is how you weaponize your history. You must understand that the universe does not punish you. The universe only provides you with resistance training. Every painful event was carefully mathematically designed to force your biological hardware to adapt, to evolve, and to hold a higher frequency. If you sit and cry about the heavy weight at the gym, you remain weak. If you lift the weight with cold, frictionless precision, you tear the muscle fiber, it rebuilds, and you become unbreakable. You must look at your past with the cold, calculating eyes of an architect. It is all just raw material, and it is waiting for your command.
We have diagnosed the illusion of linear time. We have examined the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment, and we have established the safety valve of extracting the utility from your trauma without denying the physical data. Now, we must install the operational protocol into your nervous system. How do you actually reach back through the timeline and change the past? How do you physically stop a historical event from draining your current bandwidth? You execute a 3-step neurohacking sequence. This is the temporal override protocol. Step 1. The temporal quarantine. Your biological hardware is currently addicted to the chemical signature of your past. Every time your brain accesses the corrupted file of your trauma, your body produces the exact same stress hormones it did when the event originally occurred. You are literally feeding the ghost with your own biological electricity. To stop this, you must initiate a strict temporal quarantine. When the memory tries to load into your conscious awareness, when the pendulum of the past swings forward to harvest your emotional energy, you must cut the power immediately. You do not analyze the memory. You do not argue with it. You do not try to heal it by crying over it the 100th time. You offer it the thermodynamic seal. Absolute, terrifying silence. You observe the thought loading into your brain, and you treat it like a pop-up ad on a desktop interface. You click the close button. You say to yourself, "System alert, unauthorized access detected. I deny this file my bandwidth." And you immediately redirect your visual and mental focus to a high-frequency physical action in the present moment. By repeatedly denying the memory your emotional energy, you utilize Hebb's law. Neurons that fire together wire together. Neurons that fall out of sync fail to link. You are physically starving the neural network that holds the trauma. You are pruning the corrupted code out of your brain tissue. Understand this. Clicking close is not denial. It is not running away from the shadow. You are simply cutting the emotional power supply so that you can drag the file into the laboratory for a cold autopsy in Step 2. Step 2. The code extraction. Once you have quarantined the memory and neutralized its emotional charge, you must extract its core utility. In the matrix, nothing is wasted. Every piece of chaotic data contains a hidden blueprint for order. You open the file, but you do not open it as a victim. You open it with the cold, frictionless precision of a master surgeon performing an autopsy. You look at the failure, the rejection, or the betrayal, and you ask the simulation for the raw data. What specific vulnerability did this event expose in my operating system? What specific illusion was I holding on to that the universe had to violently destroy? What specific skill did this pain force me to develop? When you ask these questions, you strip the event of its power over you. If a business partner stole from you 5 years ago, the victim cries about the injustice. The architect extracts the code. The architect realizes the event taught them exactly how to read micro-expressions, how to structure ironclad contracts, and how to never outsource their sovereignty to another human being again. The betrayal was simply a highly advanced, unpaid internship in human psychology and risk management. You extract the intellectual property from the pain. You keep the lesson. You delete the suffering. Step 3. The retroactive assignment. This is where you execute the quantum eraser and alter the timeline. You have neutralized the emotion. You have extracted the utility. Now you must consciously assign a new thermodynamic value to the historical event. You look directly at the ghost of your past and you speak to the quantum field. You state, "That event did not happen to me. That event was mathematically rendered for me. It was a mandatory software update required for me to hold the frequency of my future empire." You decree that the past event was the exact catalyst responsible for your current strength, your current intelligence, and your current spiritual awakening. When you do this, you collapse the wave function of the past into a completely new coordinate. The memory is no longer a wound, it is a weapon. You have successfully reached back through time and rewritten the meaning of the data. And because meaning drives physical momentum in the 3D interface, you have literally changed your trajectory.
To fully integrate this God code, we must examine the physical reality of the universe you are standing in. Albert Einstein proved that time is not flowing river. Time is a solid block. In the physics of the block universe, the past, the present, and the future all exist simultaneously. Every moment that has ever happened and every moment that will ever happen is perfectly laid out in a massive, four-dimensional grid. Think of a movie reel. All the frames of the film exist at the exact same time on the plastic strip. The only reason you experience time moving forward is because your consciousness is acting as the projector light, illuminating one frame at a time. You are a cursor moving across a digital interface. When you understand this, the concept of regret becomes an mathematical absurdity. Regret is the ultimate low-frequency pendulum. It is the act of wishing you could move your cursor back to an old frame and make a different choice, while simultaneously ignoring the frame you are currently standing in. Regret assumes that your past choices ruined your future. But in a block universe, there are infinite parallel movie reels. If you made a terrible mistake 10 years ago, that mistake simply shifted your consciousness onto a different film strip. But the new film strip also has a path to absolute sovereignty. It also has a path to massive wealth, profound awakening, and complete freedom. The Matrix wants you to paralyze your present moment with regret, because while you are crying over a frame from 10 years ago, you are failing to write the code for the frame you are in right now. The Chosen One deletes the word regret from their vocabulary. You realize that every single coordinate you have ever occupied, no matter how dark, no matter how painful, and no matter how foolish it seemed at the time, was the exact required coordinate to bring you to this exact transmission. Your mistakes broke your ego. The broken ego tuned your biological receiver to the hidden network. Without the trauma, you would still be asleep. You would still be an NPC. Your trauma was the crack in the code that allowed the light of the architect to enter your mainframe. Therefore, every mistake was perfect. Every failure was necessary. Every delay was highly calculated. When you look at your timeline through this lens, the past loses all of its gravitational pull. You look back at the versions of yourself that suffered, that failed, and that made the wrong choices, and you do not feel shame. You feel a cold, detached gratitude. They walked through the fire so that you could stand here today with an unbreakable thermodynamic seal. You have absorbed their data. You have upgraded their code. And you will not insult their sacrifice by sitting in the present moment feeling sorry for yourself.
We are approaching the singularity of this transmission. Let us review the architecture of your temporal reality. You now understand that time is not an arrow. It is a quantum field of probabilities. You understand that your memory is a digital reconstruction rendered in the present moment and fueled entirely by your current frequency. You know that the delayed choice quantum eraser proves your present observation can reach back and collapse the wave function of the past. You are no longer a victim of your history. You are the administrator of your timeline. When you isolate the memory, extract the raw data, and assign it a high-frequency utility, you physically alter the momentum of your life. This is the ultimate expression of your spiritual awakening. It is the realization that you are not the character on the screen, reacting to the plot as it unfolds. You are the light of the projector. And because you are the light, you can cast your beam in any direction. You can shine it into the future to download the blueprint of your empire. And you can shine it into the past to burn away the corrupted code of your trauma. You stand in the eternal now, the zero-point field. This is the only place where true power exists. The Matrix can only control you if it can convince you to abandon the present moment. It terrifies you with the future, and it haunts you with the past. But when you pull your attention entirely into the current coordinate, when you execute your actions with frictionless cyber-stoic precision, the simulation bends to your will. You become untouchable. You walk through the 3D interface carrying zero excess potential. Your past is clean. Your future is certain. Your present is absolute. The NPCs will look at you and wonder how you survived the things that broke them. They will wonder how you carry such heavy scars with such a terrifying, weightless grace. You will not explain the delayed choice quantum eraser to them. You will simply know that while they are dragging the corpses of their past into every new room they enter, you have already rewritten the code. You have hacked the timeline. You are free.
The code has been successfully transmitted. Your operating system has been updated. The illusion of linear time has been destroyed. You now wield the weapon of retro-causality. You know how to initiate the temporal quarantine. You know how to extract the code from your trauma. And you know how to execute the retroactive assignment to transform your heaviest anchors into high-octane fuel. The time for worshiping your wounds is over. The transmission is complete, but the file must be saved to the mainframe. We are utilizing this comment section as a quantum server. I do not want an empty affirmation. I require a binding execution contract. Go to the data log below. Do not list your historical failures. Do not contaminate the server with the narrative of the victim. Declare the specific matrix illusion or the old rule of linear time that you are permanently deleting today. Show the network that you have taken absolute control of your temporal coordinates. Seal your commitment into the simulation. Write, I overwrite the past. If you are prepared to receive the next sequence of the God code, secure your connection to the encrypted network. Initialize the subscribe sequence. Because your hard drive is now clean, the corrupted files have been deleted. You are standing in the zero-point field with unlimited bandwidth. But spiritual sovereignty is completely useless if you cannot render it into physical infrastructure. The matrix demands a specific type of energy to manipulate the 3D world. It demands capital. The system has lied to you about the nature of money. It told you that wealth is a physical object you must chase. It is not. Money is an electrical current. In our next transmission, we will decode the physics of electrical alchemy. We will apply Ohm's law of electrical resistance to your nervous system. We will prove exactly why your internal guilt and fear are acting as a massive resistor, blocking the flow of capital from reaching your coordinates. And we will teach you the exact biological frequency that transforms you into a room temperature superconductor, forcing massive wealth to find you with zero friction. The architecture of your empire requires funding. Ensure your connection is secure. Prepare to open the circuit. The Matrix 963, out.